Good morning, Canadian Yarn Hoard. My name's Alyssa, and today we're going to be making this bag. So these beads are a pony bead that you can get at Michael's, Walmart. I use glow in the dark, so these are all glow in the dark pony beads. I'm going to show you how you can work with them. I'm going to show you the yarn we work with, and I'm going to show you all the things over in the overhead cam. So I'm going to move you over, and I'm going to start with. Alright, so we will be working with Bernat Inspirations. It's or Bernat Premium from Yarn Inspirations. It is a 4 medium. You can use you're recommended to use a 5mm needle or a 5mm hook. We're going to use the hook. It is an acrylic yarn. The nice thing about Bernat Premium, they have a nice center pull. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a bag. The bag is going to have a base of 25 single crochets. So we are going to chain 26, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 27, 28, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and we are using a 5mm hook. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 27. So now you're going to turn and 1, 2 from the hook. You're going to do a single crochet here. Your base is going to be all single crochets for approximately, I want to say, probably about 6 inches, but you're going to want to visually see when you hit the square. So I'll show you what I mean when it looks like it's a square is usually when I like to stop. And I have found I like bags with about a 25 stitch across because it's a nice size bag. It's not too big, not too little, holds a good couple balls of yarn. We're going to be mainly showing how, I'm going to show you how to put the beads on so that you can just attach the beads and make it fun with, like I said, with beads. When you couldn't get a glow-in-the-dark yarn, this was one way I could incorporate glow-in-the-dark into it. You can make things like, I have an orange one that, an orange bag with glow-in-the-dark beads, and I used yellow, and I made a jack-o'-lantern face, so there's that. Or I have one that's all black, and I made a ghost, and with the glow-in-the-dark beads. So I have 3 different bags that I've made. I'll show them at the end. And these are just a way to incorporate glow-in-the-dark into them. And you can use any kind of pony beads. They don't have to be glow-in-the-dark. But as you know, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, I am a big fan of glow-in-the-dark. So when I can, I incorporate the glow-in-the-dark in. Oh. So we're just going to keep doing this. Just single crochet in every stitch across the foundation. And you're just going to keep doing that for, like I said, maybe 6 inches, maybe a little more. Could be 10. You'll know when the bag looks to be square. And that's when you'll be like, okay, that's a good spot for me to start going around the edge border and start growing it up like the bag you want to have. So I do incorporate the tail here because you don't want it out when you go around the outer perimeter to make the bag, as I'll show later. So leave that tail there, and I will tuck that in with this next one. And then you just tuck it in again. all straight. One more. And now it's worked in nicely. You will maybe get a few of these little end pieces come out, but other than that, it's nicely worked in. And then you just keep making the base grow. So I will come back when I have the base and I'll show you the next step. All right, so I have my 6-inch square. So there's my square. Now for this, I will put in a place marker. This last stitch right in there. Right there. Now you're going to chain 2, turn. You're just going to follow along all the edges. So you're just going to keep single crocheting until you get to the corner. And on the corner, you're going to do 3 single crochets in one spot. And that'll turn your corner. And this is the only row you do this with, but so you just go along, single crocheting, just like you did before. So we're coming up to the corner, so what we want to do is we want to, so there's one more, and then here's your corner stitch, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then if you see hole, 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 you're going to put each stitch in these holes. 1, 2, and this square is 6 inches. I measured it. You're just going to keep going around the edge. Just grabbing stitches. And as I said, each 4 corner you're going to add 3 stitches. And then the next row will be the row that you continue on until you're done. So this one is just getting the edge border for the bag. Just making sure you grab each stitch that you see, or each hole in between each stitch, I should say. At least this side of it. Just keep going around. I'll show you this corner and then I'll pause until I'm done. So this one's 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you're just going to keep single crocheting. I will come back when we're done this row. So I've gotten to my stitch marker. Now what I'm going to do is end the stitch marker. I'm going to do 2. 1, 2, and I think I can get a third one in there. So I'm going to pull the stitch marker forward. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do number 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch right there. So there's your base. Now this next one, you're not going to have any increases. 1, 2, so you're just going to single crochet evenly around the base. Now I'm going to do this for about 5 rows so that you get a bit of a base before we add any of the beads. So I'm just going to do 5 rows, single crocheting every stitch, and I will be back. Okay, so now that I've gotten 6 rows, so you count 1, 2, 3, 4, well, you can see where the first row is here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this row, we're going to do 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 5th stitch, you're going to grab start with yellow. A 3mm hook. You're going to come up. Well, the size of the hook doesn't overly matter so much. Pull it up and through. Put your bead on. Pull the bead through. So just going to single crochet like normal. And then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to pull this one through. Next color I want, put it on, pull it through. And that's how one way to add a bead to your work. The other way is to string it on before you start, so you'd have to know how many you need. That's why I prefer this kind of method. And another thing I like about this method is on the inside, you'll see the beads, but you won't have any effect of the beads. So the bead won't bother you. So it's only on the outside. So I'm going to do the next one. Just pull that loop through the loop. And the only purpose of the smaller needle hook is just to pull the loop through the bead. 1, 2, and number 5, we pull up through, grab bead, that bead onto the thread, and onto the yarn, and then you proceed to single crochet. I'm going to complete the row. I will come back when the row is done, and I will show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So I just finished the row. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 5 rows in between. So you're going to do just single crochet for 5 more rows. So then on the 6th one, you're going to put the beads in, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm done that. So I did decide to make something slightly different with this bag. I decided because I have 4 stitches in between each bead, I'm going to do 4 rows in between each bead. So I'm going to do, for me that's a symmetry thing. I do very much like that. So I'm going to, on every 5th row, do a bead. And I'll show you these ones because I did get these ones off of Amazon. It's a very cute little kit. I'm going to use, here you go with this one. And as you see, it will never fit in there. So I'm hoping this one will. No. Let's see if the 2.5 will. No. So I'm going to have to go to my small ones. Now, I don't use my very small itty bitty hooks very often. Yet again, I got it off of Amazon. And it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little kit. So it's 1.75mm. It is a tulip set from Japan. I know this one is nowhere near as expensive, but this should, oh, and it didn't fit either. So there's more in it, so now you just keep them. Some dirt from where I had it stored. So now I'm going to try until I find one that'll fit. There we go. So 150 it'll fit on. And that'll work. So there's that. There's that hook. So I'll put those back there. And now you're going to repeat the same process you were doing. this one, the white one will have to stay the same for a while. I do not have a white bead that goes in the dark like that. Oh, excuse me. So what I will do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I started on the 6th one. So you're going to go through, pull through, put your bead on, pull it through like that. Takes a bit of work because this one has a very small hole, this particular bead. And you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, through this way. Now let's the orange one. Grab it, string it, tighten the thread. Sometimes that can help. Pull it through. Your aim with that extra needle is just to get the bead on. Once it's on the thread, you're fine. As long as there's no sharp edges. 2, 3, 4, and 5 pink. So I'm going to keep going, and when I come back, I will show you the end product. Alright, so here we are. Here's the base for the bag. I'm going to darn in my end, and then I'll show you how I get to know where to place the handle. I'm just going to darn the end in. Go. So there's that. Hello, hello. Yes, Willow. So there's that. Now what you want to do is you see how there's the 2 ends here. So you're going to follow those up, fold it, and that would be where the middle, so you want to go about 3 over from the middle. So you're going to do a 6, so chain 3, 2, and then you're going to single crochet 6 stitches. 1, 2, actually 5, sorry. 3, 4, and 5. And now you're going 2, and you're just going to keep going up this way. Turn and single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I can do 5. That's good. So I did 6. That's 5 because I like 5 stitches for a handle. So now we're just gonna continue on until the handle is wide enough to hold the basket. So you don't want to do just the length of the basket. So the width is this big. You want to do a little bit more than that. So, but I will come back when I'm done and I'll show you the finished product, and I'll show you how long the handle will be, and we'll darn it up, and then I'll show you a couple other bags that I have just like this, and I will finish this video up. So you want to make sure when you have the band done and you're on this end, that you have a little bit of rise over your bag so that it's not pulled taut or stretched tight. Now I'm going to trim a bit of a tail, and I'm going to pull this out now. Pull flat. That's where you want the middle to be. Tail and needle. Down up. Oops. You want to twist it a little bit because you're on the inside. So you do want to put a bit of a twist in there. And then you just kind of grab each stitch around stitches as you darn it up. And I do recommend with this one, with this final stitch, that you go around a couple times and then you really bury your needle. I do like to also run a loop around the needle so that you can really tighten it up so that it should not come undone. I usually run underneath the handle, trim it up, and there you go. You have a very nice handled bag, just a little bag. I will show you it glow in the dark. So I'm going to go show you how it looks in the dark. So I'm going to turn off my light. I'm going to take you, I'm going to grab you, bring you in to my room where you can see that I have the pumpkin bag, the ghost bag, and then that bag. I will actually grab my light, my UV light, to give really good this bag on top so you can really see the glow in the dark. And I will shut the door, and there you go. There is essentially the same pattern, and with this bag it's just more beads. So it was every other stitch had a bead and every other row had a bead. So I hope to earn your like and subscription. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again.